you don't get a number one song by having a good song. You get a number one song by sucking every dick in fucking radio land. But it's like, and at some point you wake up and you're just like, I don't want to suck dick anymore.
Permission to Party World Tour is in full swing October 9th, Lincoln, California, October 10th, Missoula, Montana, October 11th, Everett, Washington, October 12th, Portland, Oregon. Avoid scalpers and get your lowest ticket prices at Bert.com. When you were poor, were you as cool?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I've gotten cooler when I made money. I feel like I'm glad I'm still with my wife, but it would have been cool to run it like when I first started getting famous and just like her being a coma or something, right, and just be like, but I've gotten cooler than when I got money. But you're like one of the cooler dudes.
Thank you. I just love the attention to detail. Like I go down rabbit holes on things, like people that make things, people like anything, doesn't matter what it is, like a hat or a knife or a belt. And like some things are like really sentimental. Like I still have my Abercrombie & Fitch belt I got when I was in high school. I still wear it. I've had to punch a bunch of extra holes in it, but things like that as a man, like your pocket knife that you carry, your belt, your wallet, like those are things that are like you kind of attached to. So I'm always looking down a rabbit hole of like seeing who makes what and on my travel, like who's putting a lot of thought into those things and how they make them. And I like to make things as well, but that's definitely part of the fun of traveling. The school of travel has been the greatest school that I ever had.
I got paralyzed by what I was wearing on stage, especially for specials. And I would get overwhelmed. And then I started taking my shirt off and all that went away. And so now all I have is shoes and I wear Nike. Although I saw myself on stage this weekend, I was looking at myself on the monitor and I was like, I'm 52. What am I wearing Nike SBs for? Like I should grow up, or I should wear flip-flops, or I should go barefoot. I would love to do it barefoot.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the courage. I applaud the courage to be able to just be an individual and being able to be yourself. That's a huge part of, I think the way you treat people first, but knowing who you are and not being afraid to be different. I mean, not intentionally trying to be different, pushing it, but just being able to go, you know what, this is what I like, this is what I do, and I'm not scared to be that thing.
Yeah. What was it like? Because I feel like, and I feel bad saying this because I know a lot of guys in country right now, but when you got into country, I was still working at Travel Channel when you broke, and there was still traditional country. It was almost like I feel like a mafia, And I met some of those guys the same time I saw you guys. I don't know if you remember the story. You guys were playing Titan Stadium, and I saw John on the back of the scooter.
Yeah,
and I yelled, "Distant relatives." And he was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And we watched you guys play. And I remember it was like a lot of like traditional country. And then you guys showed up with for lack of better words, a younger vibe, a lot younger vibe, a lot more crossover vibe,
right?
In my opinion.
Right.
What was that transit? What was it like with the standing guards at the time?
Man, we're from Georgia and we didn't have anyone else that we were like, they're succeeding. Let's see what they're doing. Let's see what they're doing. We had to just figure shit out. Yeah. So, and I didn't know, like when I started spending some time in Nashville and seeing that like a lot of the big bands, their band doesn't play on the records. Mm-hmm. And that was so weird to me because I didn't know, like, don't you play with people and travel with them and whatever, but there's a formulas for how things work corporate wise. We had nothing to do with any of that. And we really still don't. Like, we've worked with some labels over time but now we're fully independent. Our managers are in-house. Our label is in-house. And everything we do is entirely, and it's up to us whether that, succeeds or not. It's like the effort you put in, the budget you put behind it, and figure out how to do it. So I didn't really know how everyone else did it because we only were in our bubble. And we were grinding so hard. I mean, I was playing 6 nights a week for 10 years.
Yeah.
Playing any bars. And I created a business model. So I'd go to places that didn't have live music. And we come and play. I'd say, look, I'll play for free. Just give me a tab. And then over time, like we'd play there every Tuesday, like this place in Birmingham. And like, we'll come back and play here every Tuesday. And it's like, eventually I like to have the door. So we'd take $3 or $5 at the door. And then we'd have 300 people in on a Tuesday night after 6 months of being there that were there every week. And we did that for 6 years pretty much just grinding, playing house gigs, 7 different house gigs, Georgia, Alabama, Florida. But if I'd gone to Nashville and try to go to places that have live music and that do that, you might make $50 a night.
Yeah.
I was making $1,200 a night at a sports bar that didn't have live music. But to them, I've owned restaurants. You make your money Friday, Saturdays. You lose your ass through the week.
Yeah.
So bringing in a Friday, Saturday night crowd on a Monday, Tuesday, it was great business for them. And I was able to actually make something enough to pay good players, to pay a good sound man and have gear and be able to pay to get to the next place that we needed to get to. So I didn't know, everything for me was just like punching myself in the face the whole way through, figuring out how to do things, how to make a business out of it. And then in traveling, you write things. But because we're from Georgia, because we weren't part of any machine, we had our own sound.
Yeah.
Because it was my influences was all 70s. James Taylor, Jim Croce, Dan Fogelberg, Gordon Lightfoot, Allman Brothers. And I was also I was a big Dave Matthews fan.
Dude.
Growing up and like going to Dave shows and things like that. And the creativity that his band had like almost gave me courage to like permission to just like, you know what, I'm just going to be myself. Because I'd had people try to sign me 10 years before before I chose to do a record deal. It was just like, you know what, we're going to put a cowboy hat on you and some boots and we're going to get you out there. And I was like, that meeting was over right there.
Yeah.
But what I'm proud of is the people, the team that I have together. We were able to figure it out together. Like my front of house engineer, Eric Roderick, he's my production manager, front of house. He had dreads that, down past his butt. And I'd come home from playing bars and he'd be sleeping on my front porch, just like vodka'd out, just literally sleeping outside on the porch. He's one of the best live mixing engineers in the world now. And we did this together. We figured it out and we just kept going and kept playing and kept doing, because the connection you make with your fans, no one can take that away from you.
Right.
There's no label. It wasn't given all of a sudden by signing a deal or doing something. It was earned one room at a time with people. And it's competitive. This business is competitive. So you better be doing something that makes it, memorable to them, where they can create memories and they can kind of forget about their bullshit going on in their life. And they get to come out for a night and do that. So I didn't have any guidelines of how to do any of it, nor any people early on that I could talk to and see what's going on. But it's been a blessed journey. I wouldn't want to have to do it again or figure it out these days.
If you had to do it again, what do you think you'd do differently? And I know I always say I'd do nothing differently. Like people go, well, would you quit drinking? I go, no. It got me to everything got me to where I am. Everything. But if I could do it differently, I wouldn't have. I feel like I did too many podcasts. I look back and I go, I look at from the moment my movie dropped, I started working as hard as I fucking could work, thinking, don't stop me. And now I look back, I go, I should have slowed down. I should have slowed down, enjoyed it, Yeah. But what would you do differently?
There were some, being an entrepreneur around all of the stuff, there are things that I wish that but those things led me to where I am. So I can't say I would change all of them, but one thing that I learned the hard way was when I was trying to build a record label. I had signed 5 artists, and the right people, like if somebody had helped me with any aspects of my things, I would have been grateful. It would have helped my hustle, right? But hustle is the most rare attribute that is found. Talent is very cheap. There's dudes in Nashville that are working at the Waffle House that could smoke most players alive on the guitar. Yeah. But the perseverance and learning about the business side, having a little bit of that left brain part and then you have to be stubborn. You have to be stubborn because everybody's like, this is the best we can do. That's all we can do. And you got to be willing to walk away from a deal to get better terms on it. So there's been a lot of times in my life where I have to bet on where I'm going to be, not where I am, and try to strike something that seems fair. And they would say, we've never done that for any artist ever, so we can't do that and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, I appreciate the time.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, they call back and be like, okay, we'll give it a shot. But if you don't bet on yourself, there's nobody going to bet you up. And this music machine will chew you up and spit you out on the other side. And you won't know what you are or who you are. That's
the crazy part. You must know. You could probably name 10 artists that you saw growing up. Because I think I think one of the things, the misconception about you, and we have a mutual friend, your bass player, John Hopkins, was my favorite musician in college. His band was like, and I did a podcast with him the other day in Georgia. It's an amazing podcast. He is an amazing dude.
Yeah.
He's going through ALS right now, and he talks about that. I think about that motherfucker once a day. Not only because I put a picture of him up at my bar, but but I think about him once a day because I always think, and I hope John hears this with love and gratitude, but when I'm hungover and I don't want to go to the gym, I go, John would fucking pay every cent he has to go to the gym and fucking crush it and have his full use of every part of his body. Going through ALS is fucking, it's the worst disease in the world. So I think about him every day. He's an inspiration. I texted him that the other day.
Yeah.
He's an inspiration to me. But he was explaining just how much hustle you had at a young age and how you earned everything you got, and you wrung every bit of everything out of life that you could. And he was like, Bert, we were hustling, and then one day we had security.
Right?
It's crazy.
And doing that together, like you can't buy culture or momentum, and you have to earn that.
Yeah.
And in the trenches, and earlier it was just guys. So those guys had to follow me into the darkness many, many times. And we've like fought our way through together. We had walls that we hit where it was just like, we're completely out of money. We weren't getting the support that we were supposed to be getting legally from, people and things that were supposed to help us stay afloat going. And we're in the Walmart parking lot. And I remember like going in and buying a vacuum that we couldn't afford to like clean the bus floor. But I remember being there and then finding out that the whole label we were with, everything was dissolving and it was gone. And that was where all our support was coming from. And we were, there's been a lot of crossroads, man. And that's why I'm saying I wouldn't want to have to do it all again. But yeah. I think also we're kind of watched after in a way as well, because a lot of what we do, and I believe that I was given my music as a way to help to bring people together and to help to do good things. The camp, the property that we built in Georgia for kids and veterans, and that is kind of been the higher purpose of what we're doing. It's not just for us, about us. So having something to serve bigger than yourself and something that's a worthy cause has been an incredible force to help us to get through these things and fight for things and whatever. But it's been a wild ride, and I don't reflect a lot because I'm always focusing on where we're going now, like what we're doing.
Dude, I feel like I'm listening. I feel like I want you to talk to my wife, because I have the same mentality you have. I have a hard time appreciating where I'm at. I see where I'm going.
Right.
And so I almost don't enjoy making the product. I almost don't enjoy doing the product. I enjoy making the product.
Right.
Like I love pre-production.
Right.
I love writing the scripts. I love creative meetings. And then when we start to make it, I go, God dang, all the fun. And it's almost like vacation. Like I'm like, God, we're on our last day of vacation.
Right.
I love touring.
Yeah.
I love touring.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much that goes into it. And a lot of people outside don't really know that. That's not their job. Their job is to show up and we make them feel good.
Yeah.
And that's what an amazing job to have.
Do you ever write songs do you ever write songs where you go, this is going to challenge my audience? Like this isn't going to be like, you're on your 7th album. When you're writing that, I think some people think of you one way. And as you grow and get older, you go, this is a song that I'm going to ask them to go out on a line for me on this one.
Yeah. And in between album cycles, so we make a ZBB record like every 3 years, basically. That time in between, I'm writing all the time, no matter what. And so in between, I'll usually do a side project. Like I did a solo album called The Controversy, which has a bunch of EDM like stuff in it. I worked with different EDM producers.
Really?
And worked with Skrillex. I worked with Pharrell. I worked with Max Martin. I worked with Benny Blanco and Andrew Watt.
Benny Blanco's so talented.
And the product you get working with those people is different than what you would do if I'm, using my band as my instrumentation. But the great part about working with different people is you learn their process. You see what they're doing, what technology they're using, how they write, what their structure is, what plugins they're using, what are all the tricks. So it's kind of like going to school, working on those things. And you think back to like Garth Brooks days, remember he came out with the Chris Gaines thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And
I can tell you where I was when I saw that album. I was on 6th Street or on 6th Avenue and there was a record store on 6th Avenue in the West Village. And I walked in and it was the first thing in. And I was like, God damn it, that looks like Garth Brooks.
Yeah. But the difference, I think, the difference in our approach with that is I don't apologize for creating things that are what I want to create.
Yeah.
And I love returning to my band and returning to dead center of what our fan base was built around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never abandoning that, but I love to go explore. And so it was funny to me, like I would make these albums in between. I made an album called Sir Roosevelt with a couple friends, and that was more EDM and some wild stuff on there, right? And some people see that and they're like, oh, we've lost them. They're going out here to, whatever. And it's amazing. People get angry because you create something in addition to what they expect.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But it's also kind of the world we live in right now. Like we hear the voices of people we were never supposed to hear their voices and opinions. Like we're a human tribal. And if you can't hear what someone's screaming at you from earshot, you weren't supposed to hear what they were fucking saying. And we hear millions and millions of people's opinions, people that hide behind their screens, that hate on something that you're creating, and they don't create shit except shitty reviews online. When's the last time you sat down and wrote a review on something?
I've never.
Never. Because people that do shit don't sit around and write reviews. Mm-hmm. That's not in their thing. But I'm not hating on our fan base whatsoever. Like our fan base is incredible.
I've been in your fan base. Your fan base is my fan base, and your fan base is me. Like I sat at the show in Titan Stadium. It was I got to give you credit. I was never a country fan. We were doing the CMT Awards or something, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we were driving to leave. And I saw you guys, and I saw John, and I knew I was familiar with your band, and I was like, wait, I forget who was on. I was like, I want to say it was Kenny Chesney or someone. Someone was a little more down the middle. And then I was like, wait, if my favorite musician is in the Zac Brown Band, I might want to go back and watch. I remember saying to my sound guy, John Sales, we were leaving, so I was like, I don't really want to watch any of the show. Let's just leave. We'll get a beer somewhere. And he was like, 70,000 people can't be wrong. And my sound guy, and I was like, yeah. And then I saw you guys, and he was like, let's go back and watch them. And we went back out, and we had great seats. I mean, I could smell your boots. Awesome. I mean, we were the best seats. We were working for Travel Channel, and we had such a great fucking time. And I was like, God damn it, there is an arrogance that a loser has. A loser goes, not for me, and just walks away. A winner goes, hey, let me check it out. What is this? What is this? Right. And it transformed the way I started taking in music. That one show, and I told that to John, and I'm telling that to you now. I think I might have said that to you when we were at the Grateful Dead thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, but you're right. A critic, and not like look, we need critics, but some of these. My buddy posted a picture of him and Kimmel the other day, and the comments were so mean. And I was just like, and then he showed me a picture of one of the guys. My heart broke for the guy. I was like, oh, I literally was like, life's been so rough on that guy. Life's been so rough. But you're right. I've never criticized, I've never critiqued anything.
I don't read reviews. I don't read a lot of the things like that. Like I believe in what I create. It moves me. And as a music fan, I'm a music fan first. So I'm trying to create things that I'm really proud of, that I've put a lot of time in. The point of a song, like not every song is about my life personally. Some songs are just absurd to just have a good time. They carry a spirit of it. And sometimes you need to have those.
Sugar Fried is like that song makes me angry. It's so good. It's just for driving down the road with your windows down, with your boys, just singing, just fucking, and then you get a little emotional at the end. And it's such a great fucking song. But yeah, some songs are just that.
Yeah. And being able to do it and create, but ultimately at the same time, the people that are fans or whatever, they're going to trust and give it a listen and see.
Yeah.
And there may be one song there's like on this new album on Love and Fear, there's like some legit rock songs on there. I've got like my first rock opera song that I've done, like what Queen would have done back in the day, like some things like that. And then there are things that are just like acoustic. And then there are things that are more like Southern rock. And then there's islandy. And then and that's kind of we move in and out of the different genres because that's the kind of music I like to listen to. So I want to create the kind of music that I like.
And, you know, as a fan, and I lean more towards the feet in the sand kind of fucking energy, because that's me. Because I grew up in Florida. I'm a Buffett guy. Like I love 100%. That, and I love the fucking you just pitching me a lifestyle. I love.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking excited for your show at the Sphere. Have you been?
I've been 5 times, yeah.
Okay, who did you see?
I saw U2, saw Fish. I was there opening night for U2. I saw Fish. Okay. I saw the Eagles.
Okay.
I saw Anima, which was the DJ that played there with the crazy graphics and stuff. I saw the Postcards, you know, the movie that they show there. And then we went and visited while U2 was loading in. I've been 6 or 7 times to the venue.
So I'm curious. How does that operate? How does that work? Do you sit with the designer? I know you're a guy who pays attention to detail, but I'm dying to know how you create a show like that.
18 months ago, we started working on the show.
Holy shit.
18 months ago, creating the storyline, creating the imagination. It also changed the way that I produced this album that we did.
Really?
Like we filmed a 40-piece orchestra and recorded it on the album. The song with Dolly that just came out, Butterfly, there's a 40-piece orchestra on that. That's 2 dreams in one for me.
Dolly.
To do something with Dolly and where she was singing. And man, I sent her that song and I said, sing whatever you want, whatever you feel. And when I got back her parts that she sang on it, I was just reminded that she is a ninja, dude. Acrobatic. The melodies that she chose to use that are all in harmony with each other don't sound like a harmony part. They sound like their own melodies, and just there'll never be another Dolly.
No.
There'll never be a more published female songwriter force like Dolly, and just who she is and what she stands for. But her talent has not waned at all, nor her beauty with her age. She is,
right?
She's hot.
She's still fucking hot.
She's still hot, but she's still crushing it singing, dude. There
will never be another Dolly. You're right. There will never be another Dolly.
There'll never be another Willie.
No.
It's like, that's in the same rare air of people that are like that. So for me, dedicating my life to my craft and following it and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The Sphere, even 2 years before I even knew about the Sphere, I wanted to create a spectacle. Like, what's going to be our Pink Floyd The Wall?
Yeah.
What's going to be our thing where the production is so big and it carries the story and it carries a presentation of it. So I was working on that, and then I found out about the building. And then we went and visited, and then we looked at it and was just like, this is the place to do it. But you have to create every single second of content. You have to build your stage. You have to buy all the lighting. You know, that you have the sound system that's in there, and there's some lights that are built into the place, but that's it. Everything else is on you. How great the show is, how mediocre it might be or whatever, like the scale of it. But as a music fan, going to 5 shows there, seeing what I felt like was really working, what I wish I had more of.
Oh my God.
And then thinking about it as a fan, what would I want to see my favorite band do if I went to the Sphere? So that's what we've been working backwards from that. But it's like making a movie. I mean, you're making a musical. You're making a musical for fucking, with the most insane. So what did you like out of, like, we'll go to each. What did you like out of the U2 one? Because I'm going to say, and I loved the Dead there. I loved the Eagles there. Both incredible. And maybe because it was the first time I saw it was U2. But U2 just seemed to me to be so fucking overwhelming. It was cool. It's the first time it's like a modern Marvel right now. I mean, the technology that's in that building and the investment it took to get that is insane.
Dude, when you go into U2, and I'm sitting there with Leanne, and I go, it's crazy. They have a hole in the ceiling. That's so wild. You'd think, I guess it doesn't rain a lot in Vegas. And she goes, it's not a hole in the ceiling, dummy. She goes, that's lighting. She goes, those aren't walls. I go, huh? She was like, honey, this is a presentation. I go, no, babe, there's a helicopter flying above us right now. She was like, oh, you fucking idiot. And the second the walls crumble, I started crying.
But it feels like you're outside. It's the first place that has it on a level where you literally feel like you're outside being inside.
It's insane. And so what did you take from like you two where you're like, that was cool shit. We got to do a little bit of that.
Some of the vertical use that they had, remember that had that like pillar of like binary numbers that were going and it just like started ascending up to the sky and then it came down to like a little like theater feel thing. There were things that you could see how they were using that building to do it. And everyone's still figuring out that we can pull this off in this building. The optical illusions you can create, how you can make people feel uncomfortable.
This show is sponsored by Ridge Wallets. Ridge Wallets have a unique, slim, modern design that holds up to 12 cards plus cash. Made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, carbon fiber, and with over 50 colors and styles to choose from, all Ridge products have a lifetime warranty. This is literally the last wallet you're ever going to have to buy. And trust me, once you put one in your hands, you're going to realize why. These things are made with perfection. These are sleek. These are designed, I mean, optimally. Losing your wallet is the worst. But with the Ridge AirTag attachment, you'll always know exactly where it is before panic mode kicks in. I can't tell you how nice that is. It's so nice to go, oh shit, where's my wallet? And then just go and you find it right away. And then you track it right away. It is so, I'm telling you right now, that is the number one thing I care about in a wallet is the AirTag attachment. That is more than the wallet, in all honesty. That AirTag attachment is great, but with the Ridge AirTag attachment, it's just seamless. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off at Ridge by using code Bertcast at checkout. Just head to ridge.com and use code Bertcast, and you're all set. After you purchase, they're going to say, hey, where did you hear about us? Please tell them that our show sent you and support our show. Thank you, Ridge Wallet. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. October 10th is World Mental Health Day. And this year we're saying thank you to the therapists. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journey. And that's millions of stories, millions of journeys. And behind every one is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy like the right question, a safe place to cry, or a small win can change lives. This World Mental Health Day, BetterHelp is honoring those connections and the therapists who make them possible while showing how easy it is to get guidance from a licensed therapist online with BetterHelp. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally, and it works. With an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews, trust BetterHelp and trust therapy. If you're ever questioning therapy, don't. Therapy is the best place to sit with your problems and to know that you have a therapy session coming up, to write down your problems and know that you're going to take them to a safe place and figure them out in a non-volatile, non-hostile place. It gives you solace. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating therapists who've helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Bert. That's betterhelp.com/Bert. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Cumming and Dahlonega, Georgia, like North Georgia.
Okay. And you're how old are you? You're
47.
40. Okay, so you got a childhood without phones.
Yes. Building forts, playing outside, riding my bike everywhere. I rode my bike to the card shop that I worked at when I was 14 years old, and I got paid in baseball cards. But I rode my bike 5 miles to like the Walmart shopping center through traffic, through everything, to get there and show up. And I was definitely, we didn't have, I had a Nintendo. That was the first thing. My grandma bought me a Nintendo. I had at her house when I was there. And that was great. She'd pick me up from school every day and take me to her house, and we'd hang at her little apartment and we'd hang out there. But I remember when she got me a Nintendo and whatever. So I grew up gaming and stuff like that part of the time. But a lot of the time I was outside. I was fishing, hunting, running around.
You still bow hunt, right?
I do.
I have a bow, but I'm afraid to kill something. I'm not afraid to kill something. I'm afraid to go into the forest, wait, kill it, deassemble it, and then carry it out. Like, it's just more than just shooting something.
90% of it for me, the greatest part of it is where it takes you. It's not about just harvesting an animal.
Yeah.
And you try to do that respectfully, and you shoot things that you can eat or that other people get to eat. And I don't know what my life would have been like without hunting.
Really?
Because the wild places, there's no trail. You're not like on a hiking trail that's like on a map on your phone. Like, you're literally pushing yourself into the wild. The amount of sunsets and sunrises that I've seen being in there, and there's a lot of trips you don't get anything, but you get that experience of being out in the wild and being connected to nature, because now we sit in our 70 degrees and our immune systems suck because we're not having to deal with the adverse conditions of being cold or being hot or being these things. So it's like, we're kind of victims of our own comfort in a lot of ways. And being out in nature, getting scratched up, inhaling dirt, like all those things, our immune system adapts to that. Like, we're hand in hand with nature the more time that we spend there. But the amount of headspace and the detox that I get from being in the cities and fighting all the battles, as you know, when you're successful, there's people trying to take, all the time. And you have to protect yourself. You have to protect the people that work for you, their families. You have to, when I get out, spearfishing is my favorite thing to do in the world.
Oh, let's fucking go.
So free diving and being under the water, in those moments, there's nothing else in my mind except holding my breath, getting down to that spot, trying to outsmart the fish, shoot something that I can eat, come make some ceviche on the boat or fresh fish for dinner. That part of me, it feeds and it kind of recharges my battery and detoxes me from all the people and all the voices that we weren't supposed to hear that we hear these days.
I went spearfishing once and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was shocked at how deep I could get and shocked at how little I could stay there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the ability oh wow, where do you go spearfishing?
Man, all over the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when you got into spearfishing?
I've been doing it about 15 years.
For real?
Yeah. I started in the Bahamas.
So you started before Instagram told us it was cool.
Yeah. I went with a Bahamian guy. And it's definitely my happy place, man. I just love being on the water. I love the wind on my face. And I love being, and every time that I go spearfishing, there's a nice cubera that I just got a month or so ago right there. Yeah.
Look at that. Where were you?
And that was with a pole spear. So you have a pole that you shoot that thing with and you got to get it up to the top. There's a big dogtooth tuna on the right there.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, look at that one.
I was thinking like little barracudas. These are like, you like legit go spearfishing.
That's my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite.
So wait, tell me, like, where have you been that would amaze me? Like, do you like
Fiji?
Oh, I've been to Fiji.
Fiji's incredible.
So what do you fly to Fiji specifically to go spearfishing?
Yeah.
You get a boat. You live on the boat?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Stayed at there's some resorts there that are really close to great spearfishing, and then you just have a center console, rent a center console and a captain to take you out to spots. And those big dog-tooth tuna, like the big one on the upper right there, that's in Fiji. And then the one next to it, the big wahoo and the Spanish mackerel, that's in Fiji as well.
Jesus.
And but it's like anything, there's technique to it. Like if I gave somebody a golf club, they didn't know how to swing a golf club, and they're like, I can't fucking play golf.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have somebody to show you how to do it, how to manage your breath, how to manage your heart rate so you don't burn up all your oxygen. So there's a lot of technique, and I did it wrong for the first 10 years. I just did it how I thought it would be smart to do it. And then I started going with guys that were like masters at doing it, and that changed everything. And then I could double my breath hold.
How long can you hold your breath?
Like twice, about 4.5 minutes. Just sitting still. Like 4:37 is my best. I haven't really, but to get a minute and a half of in the water, exerting energy, not laying still in a pool, you know, a minute and a half to 2 minutes is a long time. You have a lot of time to get down, a lot of time to hunt. And it's just, and the ocean shows me something every single trip that I take that I've never seen before. It is the wildest, the craziest environment, and the amount of things we know about the ocean is very, very small compared to what we know what's above it.
So how far do you how deep do you dive?
I've killed stuff now. I've shot fish at 80 feet. You don't have a lot of time to get down there, but I've got friends like Justin Lee's like one of my heroes of spearfishing. He's a Big Island guy, or Hawaii. He can go free dive to 200 feet and shoot fish. It takes him a minute to swim all the way back up from there. So he has a timer that lets him know, okay, you got a minute of swimming back up 20 stories to get back up to the top. But he's won nationals a few times. And,
oh my God.
And he's just an absolute, he's a fish, man. The guy's a living fish. But he's also one of my favorite people.
Look at that picture. What a great fucking
incredible
picture.
Family, incredible guy. He's just one of my heroes.
So it was when you say you were doing it the wrong way for 10 years, what were you?
The way you manage your breath, you can hyperventilate, and you do that right before you dive. But thinking while I'm swimming around, I need to keep hyperventilating, so I got a lot of oxygen in my body so that I'm like ready to dive. But what that does is it jacks your heart rate. So your heart's cannibalizing all of your oxygen. Yeah. So what you learn to do is just to be as relaxed in the water as you can, the least amount of movement. And you do these like half breaths, which is like a 10-second exhale. And so, yeah, if you can't sleep sometimes, lay in the bed, half breath, make that noise for 10 seconds every single breath. And you breathe in for like a second or two, do that 10 seconds. 10 breaths, like doing that, your heart rate will lower and you will feel relaxed. Like you can control and regulate a lot of your, Wim Hof has proved this.
Yeah.
Like you can control your actual regulation of your hormones by breathing. So when spearfishing and watching these other guys, like just taking a freediving course with Justin Lee, I learned the right way to control my breathing and keep my heart rate down. So that's what gives you, I could take you in the pool, let you hold your breath, a time or whatever, how long you can hold it. Then I can show you this technique in 10 minutes. We do a breathe up and you do a breath, and I guarantee you would almost double your time.
Really?
But it's technique, and it's just like swinging a golf club. Like somebody has to show you how to do it, the mechanics of what it works. Like it's not a bat that you get up there and try to muscle your way through. It's like, it's momentum, it's structure, it's learning those things. So since I've been going with these guys, I've been able to be a lot more productive when I'm diving because I have a lot more time on the bottom.
Wow. You see sharks down there?
Every time.
Really?
Every time.
And just...
They're there. They're part of the environment. You read them. They're kind of like dogs, You see certain dogs walking around. You kind of tell by their body language if they feel like they're threatening. And you also have a weapon.
Yeah.
So if they come and get a little too curious, and sometimes when you're doing big blue water stuff like that, you're chumming, you're throwing fish into the water, and the sharks are swimming by and eating it. And some sharks know the deal. And some sharks, when they hear the band go off, when a gun gets shot, it turns on that predatory instinct because they know there's easy fish to grab. And you battle the sharks sometimes to get the fish to your body and hold it so they don't eat your fish. But it's something yet that you're not as sensitized to it after a lot of encounters. There was one time on this last trip in Fiji that there was a shark that I didn't like his body language. He was looking at us, he was eating the chum, and he went after my boy's leg at one point, and I had to swim down and poke him in the face. And, but they're curious, right? And not all sharks are bad. They're not there. They're just trying to get a snack, man. Yeah. But you read their language, and if there's a bunch of them that come up, there's times when you just get out of the water. You have to read the situation. But you also go as buddies, so nobody has their back to them.
So you don't do it by yourself.
No, you always have a buddy because you can black out. There's people that have blacked out and died in 15 feet of water before. So good story. Cameron Kirkconnell's a guy that I go spearfishing with a lot. He's a legend, like 30-something world records. He's diving with his buddy. They're both diving to 100 feet, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And he's on his way up. He needs breath. And he looks over, and about 40 yards from him, his buddy had blacked out and he was sinking. His buddy was at 80 yards. Cam swam over to him and had to shoot him through his foot with his gun and swim the gun up to the top. And they had to use the line to retrieve his buddy because there's no way you can carry a man 80 feet up, dead weight in the water and not pass out yourself. He almost passed out just getting over to him and getting a shot at him. But he shot him through his foot, and they retrieved him with the line off his gun, with his reel. So
did he live?
He lived. He lived. But anybody else spearfishing with you would be dead. I mean, yeah, that's it. That's game over.
Well, I've seen those. My sister's best friend growing up, Nazla Khan, her brother Saeed, I think his name was, not Saeed. I forgot. He was a free diver, and he lived in Hawaii, and he died in a pool. He died in a pool and just shallow blackout or whatever.
Yeah,
shallow water blackout.
That happens in the ocean. Yeah.
So wait, so how close do you get to being like out of breath when you come to the top?
You're pretty much out.
For real?
But you learn to be uncomfortable. You have when you feel like you're out of air, you got about 45 seconds.
Were you always this guy? Like I'll give you an example. Joe's always been intense.
Yeah.
He's always been intense. But but also knowing Joe, like, you know, he had a rough childhood. And so like there was a building of this guy.
Right.
There's a lot that, well, you know,
yeah.
Joe can tell his own story. Everyone knows Joe's story and he can share his own. But as his friend, I know that there are things that happened to him that helped make him this guy.
100%.
There's a reason he's always honest about certain things.
Yeah.
And so like when did you become like so fucking cool?
I've never told, unless you're a really close friend of mine, I've never told my story of the house that I grew up in. I'm doing that at the Sphere. So I grew up in some strange circumstances. My mother battled mental health. She was not properly diagnosed until she was 65 years old.
Holy shit.
And then she married a guy when I was 3 that he had his own mental issues, didn't have a dad, didn't know how to treat people. And the combo platter of both of their mental illness growing up in a house. I mean, I grew up in a crazy house. And looking back on it now, all of that was a blessing because it gave me resilience. And I knew I was more of a man than him when I was 7 years old, and he knew it and he hated it. But it was a lot, you know, growing up. And I was in and out of battered women's shelters with my mom. And, you know, going to the Family Haven, this place in Cumming, Georgia and then there was a horse farm that we'd go to sometimes. But growing up in a house where I had to really like take care of my mom and be ready to do that. So by the time I moved out of that house when I was 14, because I legally could, I moved in with my dad for 2 years. So from 3 to 14 was
family, right?
Yes, but I was the only child from my mom and my dad. So
Wow, what does that do to you? What does that do to you as a kid when you have brothers and sisters, but you have this one dude that's your dude and no one else's dude? It's gotta be.
Yeah. Well, my dad, I have 2 half brothers and 2 half sisters with my dad, but not from that marriage.
Yeah.
Or 1 half brother and 2 half sisters. So there was 4 of us from my dad, but from 2 different marriages. So, and they were all older. My oldest brother is 21 years older than me. So it was like my dad's last hurrah, like 43, he had me, and, you know, he just turned 90 just a couple days ago. So he's still kicking. I look back at all of those things. It drove me so hard into music because music was the safe place for me. I'd put on Pink Floyd. I'd be in my room listening to my stepdad beat my mom and slam breaking glass and all of that. And I would put on Pink Floyd and I would sit in my room and I would hold my knife in my hand and just like wait to see if he comes barreling in the door. And so it's not really things that you would wish upon a child, but it was things that made me, when I turned 16, my dad moved away and I was completely on my own, but I was ready for the world because I'd had to grow up so much faster than a lot of my friends. And I don't look back as I'm a victor of all of those things.
Yes, you are.
And I don't, and that's why I want to tell the story, because everybody's got shit they had to go through, and being vulnerable enough to just say, and I think Joe's that way too.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable enough to just, you know, being able to tell your truth in those things, but those things they made me stronger. Yeah. All of those things that happened. So my perspective on it now. And so I went to college and I studied abnormal psychology. Really? And then I learned everything about my family.
You're sitting there going, sounds really familiar.
They're that
my
and that, and that and that. But what that did is it turned that anger and frustration that I had, it turned it into compassion. Because my mom didn't choose to be that way. She was manic and bipolar. And it wasn't a consistent thing. Like certain things would come out at certain times and she could be totally functional. Like when she was 65, I put her in a all women's facility for 90 days. 60 days, she was acing it. No sign of anything. I'd call and check on her, and the lady's like, "Oh, your mom's helping out with everybody's art projects, and we love her. She's great." Day 61, she starts being reclusive and like hanging in her room, and then they try to start talking, and then it all comes out, and they see it, and they're like, "What the fuck?" But imagine going through your whole life being a way that you don't choose to be, and burning bridges and relationships and things, and not understanding it. Mm-hmm. And 65 years old to first properly be diagnosed and to have the right medication and the right therapy and the right things and expectations with your family. So, and then the last part of her life, she just passed away, less than a year ago from, she had brain cancer. Oh. But she, from 65 on, she had an amazing life. I took care of her. She was able to be with her grandkids. We had a great understanding of like what works, what doesn't. And if you could see her kind of slipping into a thing, it's like, okay, it was time to go, back to your place. And, but all of those things that happen to us that help, you can either choose to be a victim of whatever happens, and that's a shitty way to live. Yeah. And then, or you can say, what was I supposed to learn from this? What did that develop in me? And you have baggage from everything. I mean, you spend the rest of your life getting over what happens to you as a kid. A lot of people do. But somebody said something to you, whatever it is. But I've never told this story before and done it in through music, through art, through story, through what we're doing. And so the Sphere Show that's a big part of this, is getting to share the things that we go through, that we have to be, and we're always tested. Like if you're gonna do something extraordinary, it requires an extraordinary effort. And if you're not willing to be vulnerable and share the humanity and what it is, and it's like, this is what life was like for me, but this is what I chose to do and how to aim it. But music was my therapy. My guitar, anywhere I went, I was at home.
How old were you when you started playing guitar?
I was 7.
Jesus.
I was 7, and then I started taking classical guitar lessons when I was 7, but I carried my guitar to school every day of middle school, every day of high school, everywhere. I was just that kid. Every day at camp. I worked at summer camps, and that was super transformational for me. So I knew when I was 14 that I wanted to play music and I wanted to build a camp. And so I had a direction. So like everything is what I'm doing contributing toward my path. And I loved having a purpose. Like that to me, I think a lot of people, they may have 5 degrees and still not know what they want to do, and not like a professional student, basically. Yeah. I have friends like that. But I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to move people with music. Music saved my life over and over again. And then I know I wanted to build a place that was there to help people and dip people that might have had a raw deal at home, not have any mentorship, not have anybody around them to help teach them how to be a good human being and have a fulfilling life. But you can dip a kid in that for a week, and it'll change their trajectory their whole life. And I've seen it happen over and over again. It helped me a lot to do that. And I worked with kids that, and adults that had, neurodiversity challenges. And I worked at a camp called Sparrowwood in Dahlonega, in my hometown. And every week I'd have 2 campers that come in, and they were my campers. I had to make sure they're shit showered and shaved and ready for breakfast every morning or whatever. What I learned about myself working with those people was the most valuable part of everything, anything that I had done to that point. And then so our camp is like that. It's diverse. So we have kids that are on the spectrum. We have kids that are from underserved areas that, no mentorship. You have kids that are from, military families that might have lost their parent to suicide, or lost their parent to inaction, or have been dismembered in action. And you have mainstream kids that are just like, they might have a poverty of spirit where they don't know how to appreciate what they have. They might have the most cush life ever, but until you have any kind of adversity, you don't know how to appreciate that. So when you put them all together for a week, and they have to learn from each other's point of view, like how to help each other, no phones, no technology, like you dip them into this thing, and they come out having to lay hands and lift people and kids and stuff. And like what you learn about yourself, you carry with you. And that the character that camp builds is so important. And so for me, that was my thing. And music helped me to pull the people together to build the camp. And we do 34 weeks of veteran programs. We do 9 weeks of sleepaway camp for kids. That's diverse. And then we do a lot of other things as well. We do hosting and stuff like that. But all the hard things that happened to me made me want to be better, made me want to never make someone feel the way that I had felt in that situation, and made me want to help people show how to like love each other and get along and be able to accept our differences. It's been an incredible journey. I've had such an amazing life.
I'm looking at this going,
amazing life.
14 moves out, 16 is on his own, still goes to college, still, I mean, it's just, it's so funny, John, when John was telling me about you just going over to Brighter Shade Studios and being like, I don't have any money. I come on, but can you just record? Like, you were just a hustler. You were like, but that's, sometimes those are the kids. I was thinking of this today. I saw a picture of a guy I grew up with. He was, I'm definitely not going to say his name because it's not fair. He's a successful man now. His dad beat the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. And we were 16. He was 14 years old. And a college guy, older than us, was talking shit. And our buddy said, why don't you shut your fucking mouth? He was 14. 14, he's talking to what we thought was a grown man, probably 23, 22. Guy's like, I'll come over there and whip your ass. And he's like, I'd like to see you. And the way he beat this man up. He was 14. The way he beat, anyone that grew up in Tampa knows exactly what I'm talking about. You realized, he's been beaten by a drunk man before. He's fought a man before.
Right.
He fought his dad. And I saw a picture of him today with a bunch of our friends. He's doing great. And I was like, wow. I remember that going like, I don't have that in me. But there's these things that happen to you that as a child that shift you and make you into the guy you are, whatever it is. Be it, I'm a softie. I have anxiety. I just want everyone to have a good time. I want everyone to laugh. I want everyone to smile. I want to have a few beers. I just, I don't like adversity. Controversy, diversity. Wait, I don't like diversity. I like diversity. But it's funny. It's like, that's all the shit that happened to me. Losing my virginity, it was a nightmare. It was not a good experience. I fucking wasn't good at it. So then that turned me into this guy that just wants to fall in love. So that's about how I get my wife. So, but all these things that form you into the person you are. And then you have kids and you go, well, I don't want them to have any adversity, but I want them to be like, I want them to,
Yeah. Oh, you're going to fuck them up no matter what. You love them too much. You love them too little.
I got a Georgia just like you. And I remember when our heads started butting, it was like, what the fuck did I do? What did I do? And you can't see what you fuck up as a parent, but they see it. And then one day she was like, hey, when you yell, I just want to lie. And so I was like, what? She's like, you yelling doesn't solve anything. She's like, I know that's as bad as it's going to get. So why wouldn't I lie and try to get away with it so I don't have to deal with you yelling? Because if I get caught, all you're going to do is yell. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, when did you get so smart?
Yeah, they were smarter than us.
How's your oldest?
She's 18. She's in college. My youngest is 11. My little man's 11. My girls are 14, 16, 17, 18.
Jeez, a lot of girls.
3 of them driving now. Love my girls. We've been through a lot together. We've loved our way through a lot of things. And I just try to be real with them. Look, I'm human. I mess up. But I'm going to keep showing up.
Guys, enter the room dick first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And when I say better sex, I'm talking better sex. We're not just talking the kind of sex you have in the morning where you roll over and it just happens. Those are good. I'm talking the ones you plan for. When you plan for sex, when you go out on a date and you sit on the same side of the table and you put your hand on her inner thigh and you guys edge the whole dinner, get another cocktail, one more cocktail, and then stop it so you can perform. Well, know that you can perform with Blue Chew. Take a Blue Chew before that dinner and enjoy that dinner and get yourself revved up. And that's the sex I'm talking about. That's the sex that Blue Chew offers. The kind where you run in the house and you don't even make it out of the kitchen. Guys, this isn't just about performance. This is about legacy or third legacy. Give Give her group chat something to talk about. You know they talk about it when you lay it down. They're bringing it up the next morning. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew for free using promo code Bertcast at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for details and important safety info. And thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring this podcast. There's nothing better than a great shirt. A great shirt that makes you look jacked, even when you're not. When you're just a regular guy like me, to walk into a dinner, in a restaurant, and everyone look at you in a nice T-shirt, nice jeans, nice pair of boots, with a hot chick next to you, and everyone goes, oh, he can wear that because he's jacked. We're not all jacked. But with True Classic shirts, you look jacked. True Classic has sold over 25 million shirts to more than 5 million customers and is racking up over 200,000 five-star reviews. This brand isn't just about fabric or fit. It's about helping guys show up in their everyday with confidence and purpose. Their shirts fit everywhere they should and feel incredible, and they don't break the bank. You can get that tailored look without sacrificing comfort or blowing your budget. I'm telling you, they perfect in the arms, and these are pretty jacked arms, I mean, I know, but then loose in the belly, where obviously, I have problems. I've been wearing True Classic for a while now, and you can feel the difference the moment you throw one on. It is tailored where you want it and relaxed where you need it. No bunching, no stiff fabrics, no BS. Just a clean, effortless fit that actually works for real life. I'm telling you, that is the move, to look clean and effortless. That's like the Brad Pitt look. And True Classic gives you that opportunity to look like Brad Pitt because it's a little looser in the belly, tight around the shoulders. I mean, my shoulders look jacked in a True Classic shirt. You can find them on Amazon, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, or head to trueclassic.com/Bertcast to try them out for yourself.
And it's strange now because like if I came out with a statement and said, I saw you, stomp a baby seal to death, a percentage of the world would believe it.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you come out and say, that's not true, blah, blah, bullshit, and prove it, that percentage of people might not ever see that second article, that second thing or whatever. So there's part of what we do where our skin has to be really, really thick.
Dude, I told a joke this weekend that was a pretty aggressive joke, but it's my job. That is my job. And then I saw someone online try to take it out of context. And I was like, no. So I shoot so I got the footage of the show and I have it. I was like, if that comes my way, I know I can show you exactly what happened. But it's crazy that someone would be like, someone would buy a ticket to me and then get triggered by something I said. They're looking for something.
Yeah.
And you're right. No one's going to hear that. All they hear is the headline.
Right. And if those people are somehow connected where they're trying to, extort you or hurt you so you pay them to stop and it's just distracting from what you're doing and things like that. Like you see all kinds of things. It's not just a charmed existence when you're successful. You're constantly protecting everything that you have from.
We were just talking when you were changing your shirt, we were talking about another country artist. I don't want to give the guy, and I don't want him to just sound like we're talking shit about him. We're not. I'm definitely not. But it was very known that his girlfriend at the time, her friends would videotape him while he was sleeping. And I was like, that's not supposed to happen in life. You're not supposed to be nervous sleeping but that's what happens.
It's a complex set of things, right? Whoever used to be, the people that had cameras would choose to buy a camera and bring it around. Now every motherfucker has a camera in their pocket.
Yeah.
That they carry, that they're there, and they can weaponize that at any time, or they can capture some, maybe get them out of a bad situation or something. Like, it's all good and bad, but the percentage of humanity that's, there's a lot of people that see somebody that's successful and how they got there, whatever. If they want to tear them down, they love to build them up and they love to tear them down. And there's parts of it, and we're exposed, unfortunately, to a lot of the vocal minority that you would never choose to hang out with or value relationship with or value or care about what they say. And then you have to battle against the things that people just say that might not have any truth to it whatsoever. There's people that impersonate me. There's people that show up and do things, and it's I see it as a test, right? We're always tested to see if something can steal our joy and distract us from doing the good things that we're doing. That could be helping people, could be creating good art, could be doing good things. Like, we're always tested. And the more ambitious your goal and the size of your project and the things that you're doing, the bigger the tests are. And I think it's up to us to get ourselves to a place where everything that's happened to us bad passed with time. And it sucks to sit through those things, but not letting anything steal your joy these days is damn near impossible, but I try.
Oh, it's such a profound statement. My joy is the thing that got me to where I am. This carefree, giggly existence where I just giggled at dumb jokes. Stupid things made me giggle, and then I write it down. And then you take it and you mess with it, and then one day it becomes, but you can't write comedy mad, and you can't write comedy angry and
same
sad.
with writing songs and all of that. Like, it'll suck your creativity out of you.
Have you ever tried to write a funny song?
I have a bunch of funny songs.
For real, because I was this morning in the gym. We were listening to Chicken Fried, and I was changing lyrics, and we were laughing so hard, and I was like, God, I bet the way your brain works, writing a funny song would be nothing. It would be like super easy.
We wrote a verse of Chicken Fried that didn't make it there.
What was
before I wrote the one about the patriotic
Stars
one?
and Stripes, yeah.
We had one. It was
Black people on the internet fight. That's the one I wrote today. I like watching black people on the internet fight.
No, it wasn't
at
that.
A Waffle House on Friday night.
Right. I think it was like, I went from chasing dirty strippers to changing dirty diapers and doing fat lines and changing the wipers on my minivan. That's one of the verses. And it's funny how things evolve over time, because we didn't have that. But I don't ever want to finish a song. And these days I can't even play. I used to just play new songs for the crowd.
Yeah.
And we'd see by their reaction if it's working. And now when you play something, it's on YouTube. That's the release of it. It's out. It's
Didn't
there.
It suck?
It's done. And you can't really test things anymore. And so, you get by. It's amazing to have all the information in the world in our fingertips. We want to know something. We used to have to go do the Dewey Decimal System and look up encyclopedias that were often wrong and old, and like figure out a fact on something. And like, maybe in this giant series of books, there's something a fact that you can learn. So there's great things that come with it. There's awful things that come with it. And what it does to the psychology, I think, of our younger people these days, it's a plague. It's a plague what they have to navigate, what bullying looks like that lives online, where people constantly see it and go over and over again. Like, we're in a weird time right now. And if you don't choose to turn that shit off, I don't get the news. I don't watch the news. It's some kind of manipulation. And it's like sipping on poison, because you get upset about things that you don't even know are true, or know, and if they are true, they piss you off, and then whatever it is. But if you turn all that shit off and you just kind of look around your tribe and look around your neighborhood and look around where you work and whatever, it's a great life. And I just don't think we're all supposed to be participating, but they've made it the most addictive thing on the planet. The algorithms addict us to every single thing, where time just gets eaten. And sometimes I want to eat time. When we're traveling.
You were in my algorithm this morning. I have no idea why. You and your fiance were in my algorithm this morning, and I just followed her, and I was just like, and it just randomly in my algorithm, and I went, the fuck? How do they know? How do they fucking know? Like, how did you do that?
Yeah. It's wild. But I think it's kind of like having a motorcycle. Like, a motorcycle is fun if you're safe and if you're defensive and if you're on it or whatever, but like letting it be your master, where you're going around a curve at 100 miles an hour and one mistake, you're dead, or a block falls off of somebody's truck and you die. Like, it's a good tool, but it's a terrible master.
Do you have a motorcycle?
And I quit riding.
Really?
I quit riding about a year ago. Nobody watches the road anymore. Everyone's on their internet while they're driving. And cars just get over. I mean, in my kids, they're all in Volvo SUVs. There's never been a fatality in a Volvo XC90. That's what they're all going to have, and that's what they're all going to drive. And if they get smashed up, they're going to survive.
This is the best ad for Volvo in the world. Right now, Volvo's like, yo, we've been trying to tell these people that.
Well, they crash like 16,000 a month or something like that to make it. But there's a boron steel cage in this car. Doc's one of my guys that works for me. His daughter, who was 8 months pregnant, and his wife came to a show. They rented one of those cars. They got T-boned by a semi going 50 miles an hour. T-boned. 8 months pregnant, the baby was fine. There was a little bit of blood from getting jostled.
Yeah.
8-month-old baby like balloon in the thing and survived. So I was like, that's what my kids are going to drive. And I want my kids to know how to appreciate the things that they have. So I'm going to pay for their school, I'm going to pay for their car, and then they got to figure out their life. And if they're with me, they can roll and they can come and stay at the properties and come to each other. They're never going to be able to fight over it. They're never going to be able to fight over selling it. But I want them to know the satisfaction. Like as a man, if you work hard enough to be able to pay cash for a car or buy your house and pay payments on it, you know how to appreciate it. If you give a kid a $2 million house when they're 21 years old, and that's another thing that I've found out with employees. I found that out with a lot of people. Like if you are, and my nature is to be uber generous. That's my nature. And that's what's gotten me where I am. And people are like, how do you ever trust anybody or whatever? It's because I refuse to let those people change who I am.
Yeah.
That take advantage. But you can ignite greed in someone by doing a lot for them. And that creates entitlement. That creates a result that you don't want to have. So my relationship with my employees now is more like, I really appreciate you. You do an amazing job. And their compensation and bonus, that all comes from their job and their work. It's not like I'm not buying people houses and cars and stuff like that anymore. It's not. But I've had to learn my own habits that cause these situations to happen and what got it to that point. And it seems like the people that I'd done the most for, given the most, those are the ones that end up somehow stabbing you in the back later on or taking advantage or stealing from you or doing these things. And, it's another test.
Yeah.
Right. Everything's a test. And for me, if somebody doesn't continue, if I decide, look, I can't have this person in my circle anymore, I wish them the very best and love and move forward and go do your life, but I just can't have it around me anymore.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I love giving people opportunities. I love giving people chances. And we're all humans. Nobody's perfect. It's wild, but being a leader as you are, you have to be the leader of your family and your business and those things. That can be a lonely, shitty place sometimes because of the decision that had to be made. Like you could be friends with somebody a long time, and if they work with you, like you got to let them go. And these things, like there are things that you don't want to have to do. But ultimately running toward those problems and facing them and fixing them, the faster you can do that, the faster the pain goes away and the faster you can get yourself back online. And if you're not surrounded by A players, by people that are really good at what they do and that have the right character and the right work ethic and the right things and that you can trust, then you're putting your charity in your business. And my charity is the camp. It's not in my business. So,
yeah.
But those things are hard to do. It's not natural as a human to want to take someone's opportunity away, but you have to fight for the greater good, which is protecting all the people that make the right choices every day, all the people on your team that are doing the right thing. And I'm fighting for them. Mm-hmm. And it's hard though. It's being a leader can be really, it's lonely. It can be really lonely. It can be really hard. That's what my song "Heavy's the Head" is about. That's the one I did with Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
We had a big rock song with him, and that's about, no soul knows his trouble, high upon his throne, is loved by few and judged by many, he bears that weight alone. And that's what that leader position is. So it's always great to have friends that have a similar pressure, similar things. Like our trade might be different, but the things we have to go through are similar.
I watched a documentary on Lilith Fair. Do you remember Lilith Fair?
Yes.
I watched a documentary on Lilith Fair last night on the plane, and I have my own festival, a comedy festival, Fully Loaded, that I've done in summers. And then because of production and doing a TV show, I couldn't do it this year. But I watched it, and I was so moved at how fucking similar me and Sarah McLachlan. It's Sarah McLachlan, right? She did Lilith.
Yeah.
How similar me and her were. Like how much we dealt with that was exactly the same. I was like, God, I got to talk to Sarah McLachlan, because you're right. It's different professions, but it's the same job. And I never signed up to be a leader. I thought I was like, yo, I just want to write jokes.
Right.
I just want to write jokes, be able to drink at night and say wild things, and everyone goes, he's a comedian, you know? And then I'm sure you were like, yo, get me up on stage, let me play. Never did you think, yeah, I want to fill 4 acres with lights and the story of my life with my band. Like, never, that was never in the plan. Like, I never planned on doing arenas. I had never planned on fucking any of this. 3 podcasts, and I just was like, keep going.
Yeah.
And then one day you're like, fucking heavy is the
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I bet when things pop for you, I'm dying. Were there tons of people coming for a handout?
Yeah, I don't think that ever really kind of ends. I think the way that, you know, we handle it, and I can kind of smell that a lot sooner now after a lot of experience. I can smell the way people approach me and things like that. But
well, I want free tickets.
I had little kids.
I want to go to the Sphere. I'll call the Sphere, but
as long as I never have to look at your dick, then I'll give you some tickets. I forgot your question.
We're talking about people coming like right when things popped, I bet.
Yeah. Well, I had little kids at home, and it was hard being away from them when they were little.
Yeah.
Like, it was hard, and we had them back to back. You know, I had 4 kids in diapers, and, you know, it was pull-ups for some of the older ones, but it, you know, there's a lot of strain on that, and being home, you know, I think I've never missed a birthday.
Oh, wow. You got me on that one. I never missed a birthday.
Never missed a holiday. Like, I make sure that I carve those things out to be able to be back no matter how tired I am. I mean, we'd play Vegas, and I'd fly home, and I just get home. It's 8 a.m. It's still yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you get home and you have to like perform and get in and do it. So we went through a lot. That was a lot for me and Shelly as well, my first wife.
Yeah, you know, no one knows how. I think they see the pictures and they're like, wow, it must be nice, and they don't realize the toll it takes on a marriage is astronomical.
Yeah.
Just having, I mean, I'm shocked. If I was Leanne, I would have cheated on me. If I was on my wife, I would have cheated on me in a heartbeat. I'm not that good looking. I'm a mess. And then I'm gone all the time, and I'm making no money when I'm gone. And then what fucking 20 years later, it pays off. That woman's a fucking saint. Like, they don't know that. I think people see from the outside, they're like, must be nice being Zac. And you're like, oh, it's hard as shit. Like, I'm pulled in every goddamn direction. Every direction. Your band members, management, label, family, kids, old friends, 12 brothers and sisters, a mom going through it, a dad. Like, I can't imagine.
I think all the things that I went through when I was younger was like preparing me to deal with all of it. Like, I feel like that gave me my armor.
Yeah.
In a way. And there are days when I feel like I can hold it all up, and then there's days where I feel like I'm getting smashed by all of it. So there's a human flow. I mean, we're just a sack of chemicals, right? So, and some days, like whatever it is, like our makeup for that day or whatever, some things are harder on certain days. You know, you wake up and you just feel a little off, you know, and those are the days often when the biggest tests come, where you're like, how am I going to handle this? If I think about all the things that are pushing on me at one time, I'm completely overwhelmed. I have to compartmentalize it and go, okay, this is the issue. Okay, we're going to set these things in motion, call on the team to help with these things, figure out what that is, and then I'll look at the next thing and do that. But if I think about it all at one time, it's a superhuman amount of pressure and stress. And I just want to get to the point where I'm just able to be a more simple human in my activities and my choices and in those things, getting to a point where I can still play music, still move people, still write, still do those things. But I think the art of it for us is learning how to say no. How to say no to opportunities, because there's always opportunities. And what are we sacrificing to be able to do that? Does it move the needle? How many days a year do you want to spend working on those things? Because I want to spend time. My son loves to fish now. And I want to fish with him as much as I possibly can. And this year, with everything that's happening and everything that's going on, I don't have the time to do that. I make an effort to do it, as much as I can, but I'm trying to engineer my life, because one of the things that I learned is every few years you have to redefine what success looks like to you. And before it was like, okay, I want to figure out how to have #1 songs on the radio. I want to figure out how to do this, hire a big radio team, hire 7 executives, have them working on our radio full time, have them make it where they massage everything. And, you don't get a #1 song by having a good song. You get a #1 song by sucking every dick in fucking radio land. And the team digs them all up and help me suck up 200 in a day. Let's just get it all over with. I put my Carmex on and I go to fucking sucking, and to get as much done in a day as you can, so that then you can. And then after, 6-7 years of that in a row, we were so blessed. We had 16, 17 #1 songs.
God.
But it's like, and at some point you wake up and you're just like, I don't want to suck dick anymore. And so you take a break from sucking dick for like 4 or 5 years, and you see what you can gain. But also, like, I didn't want to be a celebrity. I wanted people to know me through music.
Yeah.
I wanted them to see them there. But you have to redefine what success means, because success to me with them was like, how do we figure out how to get #1 songs and keep moving the needle and increase our exposure and making another badass album and like following it up and having #1 songs off that album. And then you're chasing all these things and doing it. But it got to a point where it's like, if it doesn't feel like it has soul to it, and there's a lot of people you would spend time and hang with to make these things happen, these initiatives happen, that you might not normally choose to spend time with. Mm-hmm. And you realize, like, I have to redefine. So success to me after that meant I'm not doing any of that anymore. And I'm just going to focus on playing shows and being with my kids and writing music. And then I went from that, and then COVID happened. Smashed everything. I went in a tremendous amount of debt that I never thought. I got a line of credit against my masters. So that's one thing that's unique about my situation is I own my masters to all my music. I own my touring. I own my merchandise. I have in-house management. I don't have a record label. Those things, so we can, but if you want to make it successful, you got to figure out how to make those own opportunities. And you got to have your team help you to do it, and then weave that into the schedule with other things. And then there's external things that are happening. So, but if you don't redefine what success means, if you're chasing what used to make you feel fulfilled rather than what does now, then you kind of get lost. You get lost in it, and it doesn't happen fast. Like, I want to make these changes. It's going to be 2 years before I can get to a point where I'm doing that, but at least I'm heading toward that direction where I want to be able to have headspace. I want to be able to be so present with my kids that I'm not getting phone calls of shit on fire that I have to deal with and figure things out. But it's all balance, and it's all figuring it out. And if shit was easy, if what we did was easy, then anybody could do it. But it comes with a tax. It comes with a tax that people never see, and you don't really want them to see it or feel it or whatever. Like, you want them to just still be able to enjoy the product of what you create and make their life a little bit better. It's up to us to carry the cross around.
You know what I did the other night? And I don't regret it. And I think in the video I say I regret it. But I hadn't done a show in like 15 months, and I did BMO Center in Rockford. And I said, I'm gonna take pictures with everyone. It's a fucking arena. It was the dumbest thing in the world. I was like, I'm gonna take pictures with everyone. So I'll be out there. Come get a picture. I was there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it, because I forgot who my fans are. You know? I forgot who they are. And I was like, I should do this more often. So I used to back, old school Birdie Boy was like the funnest guy. I'd go to bar, I'd tell him what bar I was going to, and I'd go to that bar and we'd take pictures and we'd drink. We'd have a fucking blast every night. When I did theaters, every night I told him what bar I was going to. Yeah. And then when you do arenas, you're like, just going back to the green room. I'll do a meet and greet with whatever, the people that, what radio stations or whatever. And I did it, and I'm so glad I did it. And I think I'm going to start doing that more often. Just take, maybe it's your Thursday night show or your Sunday night show, then and take that time for the fans, because it's important to see what they look like, like,
and give them a hug and just see that and be reminded that what you're doing has a really positive impact on people's lives, enough for them to keep coming and showing up and doing that. That's awesome for perspective. Like, I love that. This album that I just produced and put out, this album that's coming out, Fear. I'm so proud of it.
It's going to be released the first night of your residency.
It is, right? But there's already 4 songs out. There'll be a couple more coming out soon. We've been releasing them, so the ones we're playing in the Sphere, people will already know.
Really?
Like the song I did with Snoop.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I totally forgot. That dude, that song's fucking awesome. That got sent to me by so many fucking people. That got sent to me by so many fucking people.
I love it.
I love
and the purpose of that song is not to drive people toward doing something. It's just to have a good time. It's just a fun song.
Yeah.
That's it. Some songs it's intentionally absurd. And if you have fun when you're listening to it, that's the only point. It's not like you could get into the greater philosophical version and reason that you wrote that song or whatever. And it's just to have fun. That's it. Some of the songs on this album, the next batch is coming out in a couple weeks. There's one called The Sum. And that is like the most personal. That's my follow-up to Colder Weather.
Wow.
I haven't had that song. I haven't had the song that follows up like that of doing it, but it's the most personal, most honest, vulnerable thing that I could fucking say about life and what it is. And that one is called SUM, The Sum. And it's about what we're talking about.
And are you writing all these just sitting on your porch, sitting in your living room on a guitar?
Yeah, I wrote that one at my house in Nashville. I just sold it, but I had a house in Nashville and I wrote it with Lucas Nelson.
Just had him here the other day.
And we in 2 hours we wrote that song. But it still tears me up thinking about it because it's so true to my life. And I always want to have a generous nature and a generous spirit. No matter how many times that I've been stabbed in the back, no matter how many times I've been taken advantage of, I don't want to let other people's behavior change the core of who I am. Like it's just people are like, how do you continue? How do you ever trust anyone? How do you do that? How do you whatever? It's because I'm being tested to see if that can change me, if it can jade me and make me hate everyone and not believe in love and not believe in this and whatever. But I believe in love. I believe that it's never too late to get it right. You got to keep fucking going until you get it right. And I believe that the world, if you're trying to shine light out in the world, you can call it the devil or chaos or whatever you want to call it, whatever dark force is trying to stop you from, distract you from being yourself and shining your light. That shit's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's real.
And are you going to let that win? Like, I'm not.
No.
And so, but in this song, it's like, but you do need all the hard things that happen to make you appreciate all the good, beautiful things and beautiful times. Like, you need the dark to see the stars. And that's the sum.
I can't wait. That comes out.
That's the sum of who we are. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the album. I'm so proud of the album.
Oh, fucking awesome, man. You're so much better than John said you were. Like you are. Like he,
I love
when
John.
you're in a band, you can always like, even if I talk about Tommy, this is my best friend, you're going to hear some things that you go, well, that was a little close to home. Like my best friend. I love him to death. Too much Ozempic. It's not a big deal, but like, took the fun out of him. Anyway, but it's John talked about you in such a real brother way.
He is a brother, and he's one of the most chivalrous, incredible, funny, talented. He's the best fucking background singer I've ever seen.
Yes.
And I was a Brighter Shade fan. That's how it started.
Lazy Man's one of my favorite songs ever. I made him play it.
That should be your fucking theme song.
Dude, I made him play it, and he was like, all right.
I love it.
Old fucking beat up guitar, his old guitar.
Yeah. Probably his old Takamine.
Yeah, and he's just...
Dude, that guy, we've been through so much shit together, and just who he is. My team, my band are not just musically incredible, but as the fabric of their character is unbelievable. The people that I get to work with. And I remember somebody asked Charlie Daniels what was the greatest accomplishment of his life, and he was like, having 37 of my friends work with me for 35 years and doing what we're doing. So, but John was the first one in the band. It's 20 years now.
Wow.
2 decades.
God. That's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm coming to see you at the Spear. I'm definitely coming.
You have to.
I have to.
You have to.
The last time I went, I sat next to James Dolan. I sat next to Mr. Dolan, and he said, sit down. I said, what? It was a dead. He goes, sit down. I sat down. He goes, seats vibrate. Can you feel it? I said, yeah. And he goes, enjoy the show. He's always been cool to me.
I saw him at MSG. I met him for the first time, and they hosted us in his box. And I don't know what to say to him, he doesn't know me very well, but he didn't know my band. He didn't know anything about our band. So here we are trying to play the Sphere, and it's like he doesn't never even seen us.
Yeah.
But I applauded the amount of balls that he had to build an almost $3 billion audio video system in a light to being able to do that. You never pay the note on that building with every night being sold out 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And just the foresight to being able to do it like that's a worthy. I've got a tattoo of Teddy Roosevelt on this shoulder.
Oh, I love Teddy.
And I got Bob Marley on this one. If I end up somewhere between those two guys, that's my goal. But doing great deeds at a worthy cause, it's like that's another great example of it. Yeah. And it's cool, man. I love when people are willing to do things that have never been done and like step off into the darkness. And I love that's one of my favorite quotes too. It's like you don't owe any explanation to the person who sits and watches when you step off into the darkness. Like, and if you're obsessed with something and nobody understands it, that means that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like you're working on it and people are like, why are they doing, what is going on? And you know where you're going. And if you don't have the confidence and the resilience to just keep doing what you're trying to do, every force will tell you can't do it, shut you down, shut you up. Like you have to just know, and you have to go, and you have to take all of the other bad shit that comes and just pull those thorns out along the way and just still fucking keep your joy and keep going. So
your joy, man, that's my takeaway from this conversation is you're so right. So much shit happens to you. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Shit's going to happen to you. But you just got to keep your joy. Keep your joy. I want to fucking spearfish now. I want to, like, you're inspiring fucking
I'll take
dude.
you spearfishing.
I have goals in life, and one is to go spearfishing with you. I got to lose weight because I'm not going to sit next to you fat as fuck.
Bahamas.
We'll go to the Bahamas. Something.
Bahamas is the best place to learn because in 20 feet of water, we can shoot amazing fish.
Oh,
that you can eat.
I'm in 100%. That's fun. And I cannot wait to see you at the Sphere. It's going to be so fucking incredible.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, man. And I'm proud of what you've built. And I know this shit's not easy. That's one thing that I know. Like,
it's easier than you
maintaining
think.
And being, but maintaining your relevance through C's and chapters and time and all of that and doing it. Like you have to treat people the right way to get there to do that. And you have to, like, I admire what you've done and how you do it, man.
Thank you so much, man. This has been an absolute fucking pleasure. Dude, have a great day.
Yeah, you too, brother.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.